really can't deny you at that point. They can't. Would either of you take a deal today?
Nah, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Me personally, I wouldn't. No.
Why not?
What's going on? What kind of deal it is?
Mm-hmm.
Distribution, maybe.
Mm-hmm. But you can get distribution yourself these days.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But it would have to be a sweet deal if I took a deal.
Like, what would be the ideal deal for you?
80-20?
80-20?
80-20, yeah. 80-20 be ideal.
Okay. That's after all the expenses, right?
Yeah, 80-20. 80-20. I think that's fair.
Okay.
80-20.
What about you, boss? Warner Brothers.
So if I was a musician and I was putting music together and Warner Brothers came to me today and was like, hey, we heard your demo. It's dope. Here's a deal. I would turn it down because I would want to go through the process myself and I would want to make the music that I want to make. And then I could distribute it on my own and I could advertise it on my own. And I could try to put something together. And then I think once I had some experience under my belt, I would go back, like you said, because I'd be in a position then that I could negotiate. Because I wouldn't want to come right off the street into a label because then I have nothing. And it would either be take what they offer or leave. And because I don't have very much experience in the music side of things, I would rather gain the knowledge and experience on my own. I've heard too many horror stories of people that took a deal and ran with it and didn't succeed.
I'm saying the same thing. Yes.
You know, there's a different. I have a different opinion on video, though.
Okay.
Because the video industry is different than the music industry at the moment. It's changing. And if we have this conversation again in a few years, the industry can be completely different in a few years. Right now, where it's kind of in that transition where it's catching up to where the music industry is now. So I would be hesitant to just sign a deal right away. However, if Disney came and knocked on my door and said, we're going to give you a job, come make something with us, I would do a one project deal with them and just jump head in, see where it goes, and then do something after on my own, I think. But it, like Mike said, it would depend on the deal, you know? I mean, I know you've always said everything is negotiable. So it would really just depend on what it is. But a jump start into the industry maybe for an album, you could translate it to a one album deal. Do this one album, take the deal, jump in head first, see what happens. But I don't think that I would just sign everything away.
Yeah. I just don't see any label or any film studio signing on for one anything.
Yeah, they probably don't.
Yeah, I mean,
they probably don't at all.
I just don't see that. Maybe a single deal. About all I could see. Maybe a single deal. Yeah, we'll throw the hook out there and see if anything bites. But I would assume, and I could be totally wrong, but I would assume that if a label is going to invest in an album, they're going to want at least 2 or 3. Because there's a good chance that first album may not do well at all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So then it becomes a question of, do I want to give up my rights? Would I sign a deal as an artist? No, probably not. Probably not. As a company, I can see that.
Now, what do you mean by that?
Having the resources to put out multiple things or multiple artists or being the ability to have the machine to market a plethora of different, like, it couldn't be like I signed, Swayfield does a partnership with Universal and I put out Quase's record and that's it. we're gonna need at least 3 records on Quasi, and I'm gonna need 3 or 4 different shots at 3 or 4 different people just to see if this thing is really gonna stick.
So you're talking about like a brand partnership,
Right?
where Sony is investing in Sway Phil, and then Sway Phil takes that investment and does what it wants to with it.
Well, and invest in other artists or other ventures, or if I decided, okay, Universal, they're also a picture company, and let's say I'm able to score a film deal to where I can get you 5 deals, 5 movies, and whatnot. But it's got to be 5 movies for Boss, 5 movies for this guy, 3 movies for him. It's got to be something like Diddy did back when he started Bad Boy, that type of deal, to where he just didn't have Biggie when he signed with Clive Davis and whatnot. At the time, he had Biggie and Craig Mack as well. Had Mary and Jodeci to a certain degree as well, but it was something to where he could be continuous, like kind of like when we had that club deal going on out there at the end of the highway, to where we could do 2 shows a month, guaranteed, for X amount of time. You know what I mean? It's got to be something to where I can bring in other things. I wouldn't have signed a deal personally to where Sway Low had to deliver 2 shows a month. But if I can sign a deal to where Sway Phil has to provide 2 shows a month, that gives me options to put this person in on this day, this person in on another day.
I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean? And then you bankroll whatever I need, the resources I need to make sure that these things are promoted properly. And like you said earlier, I say all the time, everything is negotiable.
Right.
You know, and do it like that. I don't think that a deal is dead per se, because radio still exists, and radio is still the #1 avenue to make you a star. You know, they say video killed the radio star. If radio wasn't still making stars, they would not exist. So you still need that gloss. And the most surefire way to get involved in radio is to have that label to walk it through the door.
Oh yeah, because they're gonna pay a pretty penny to get you
without
in that
question,
door.
without question, without question. You know, now you can go to the mom and pop radio station. I've worked the radio station, so I kind of know how that game goes. You know what I mean? But the iHeartMedia, no, you need that machine for that. Unless you just Ed Sheeran. You know what I mean? It's one or the other. It's one or the other.
Yeah, but even Ed Sheeran signed a deal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I know he started indie and he's been able to keep the control over his recording process because of the money that he brings in.
Right. That's what I was saying. The not needing a deal to go get one.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Doing that.
Yeah. And I would like for Hollywood